Thank you everyone for joining me today on TokYo-Yo Talk. My name is T, and I'm extremely excited to be joined today by one of, I think, the most popular players in Yo-Yo today, and one of the coolest people ever, I might argue, Evan Nagao. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. How's the temperature over there? I can see a little bit in the background. It looks like a nice day.
Dude, yeah, it's actually kind of hot. Like, I'm thinking of maybe moving right now because, like, the sun's in my face. It's getting pretty hot.
How's the temperature over there?
It's nice. So I'm actually in LA right now. And it's about, I'd say, like 80, 82 or something. It's a little hotter than average.
It's like 30 degrees over here or something. 40 maybe.
Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Pretty cold.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. It's supposed to snow sometime soon, so
Yeah.
that'll be fun. Anyway, but yeah, so thanks again for doing this today. In case anyone, is a very sad human being and doesn't know who you are or what you get up to, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. I'm Evan Nagao from Honolulu, Hawaii. I've been yo-yoing for like 20 years. I'm 21 years old, so if you do the math, I've been yo-yoing since I was 1 year old. But in the yo-yo scene, I didn't actually yo-yo for the entire time from when I started to now. I had a lot of breaks in between. Within 2000, by 2014, I started competing again. Actually, I hadn't ever really competed on stage for the freestyle division, so that was the first time I really started competing again. And then by 2017, this year, I finally won the National Yo-Yo Contest, which took me a lot of effort and time, but I finally accomplished my goal that I set out to accomplish, and yeah, man, it's just been smooth sailing. I'm just trying to maintain that momentum into the next year in the yo-yo contest scene. So some of you guys might know me from that, or also from Instagram. I'm gonna do a shameless self-plug at Evan the Odds, my Instagram. But yeah, so I just love to yo-yo, man. That's just my story, basically.
Yeah, once in a while I've seen pictures pop up of you, very, very young, and still playing with yo-yos even at that age. Did somebody get you into it, or was it something you just picked up when you were super little?
So my dad basically started the yo-yo boom in 1996 to 99. So, I mean, if you know anything about like how the yo-yos kind of progressed, basically back in the 50s and 60s, there was a big boom that Duncan launched of yo-yos. And then the next boom after that, which was probably the biggest boom of all time, I'd argue, was in 1996, 97, 98, 99, where my dad actually would make $1 per yo-yo on each sale. And he actually ended up selling over 30 million yo-yos worldwide. So you can imagine he commissioned like over $30 million in yo-yos, which is quite a lot for a yo-yo business. Most yo-yo companies today don't even come close to that number. And so he would always have yo-yo demonstrators at his house, and basically everybody that I knew growing up, because I was born in 96, so he just launched that boom. Everybody that I knew basically played with yo-yos. And so, I basically saw everybody playing with yo-yos, and I thought, well, I guess since everybody else is playing with yo-yos, that must be like the thing to do. That just must be like what every human does, like, is play with yo-yos. So I thought, I'm a human. Maybe I got to play with yo-yos too. So I don't exactly remember my thoughts at that age because I was so young, but I'm assuming that's about what happened. So yeah, basically my dad got into it. He was selling the yo-yos, and I just was influenced to start playing with yo-yos and do it for fun.
Nice. Wow. So just part of the family, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
So, obviously going from that, you work for YoYoFactory. So how did that work? Were you ever contacted by Duncan, like, hey, let's keep it in the family, or was it, how did you start working with YoYoFactory?
No, so my dad, when he launched the yo-yo boom back in the 90s, he didn't actually work with a specific company. He was the marketer for all the yo-yo brands when he took it to Japan, for example. So he represented Yomega, Dunkin, Pro-Yo. And as you may know, Pro-Yo was actually created by Hans and his father, Hans is the founder of YoYoFactory, Hans and Ben, right? So there was initially some sort of relationship there. Also, Ben was heavily affiliated with Team High Performance before, and knew my dad. So we did have sort of like a relationship built there before. But to be honest, when I got back into yo-yoing in about 2009, I was pretty garbage. So like when I talked to them, for some reason they knew me and they sent me some yo-yos for free, but there wasn't really a sponsorship going on there. Until after my 2014 National Yo-Yo Contest performance, they started talking to me more, and like I think that was when they started gaining interest, because that was like a contest where I had like a really big standing ovation. I guess I had like the only standing ovation at that contest, and they're thinking in their heads like, wow, this guy is pretty cool, maybe we should look into sponsoring him. So yeah, it basically started from that contest where we started the ball rolling. And then eventually we created, I was using Monster initially from YoYoFactory, but then I created my own yo-yo, the Edge. And I competed at PNWR with that one, and I actually won that contest. And that was when they finally announced, after winning that contest, that I was part of the team. So that was a really exciting moment for me.
You can definitely see the popularity of the Edge, I think, is exploded in the last year or so, right? So many people are competing with it, and you're seeing it all over Instagram, and the hashtag is blown up, and seeing so many top players playing with it now. How does it feel to see your yo-yo everywhere?
It feels really cool. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any other way to answer that. Yeah, of course, it feels super cool. I kind of developed that yo-yo with all the ideas in mind, where it could do all the tricks that I wanted it to do at a high level, or a better level than some of the other yo-yos on the market. And to see that other people are using it is kind of like testament to that. So it makes me feel like what I did was I accomplished the goal that I had, because you see all these people on YoYoFactory all using Edge. A lot of people not in YoYoFactory also using Edge to compete. So it just feels cool. I feel like we created a super good yo-yo, and I hope to, deliver more cool stuff in the future.
Nice. Yeah, that was actually my first bimetal that I ever got.
Oh yeah, no, I saw your video. Yeah, you were talking about that. Yeah.
It's
cool,
still,
man.
It still feels really different, I think, than a lot of other, not just bimetals, but different yo-yos in general. Like, there's not a lot that feels that unique, that like wide, but that light. It's a pretty incredible engineering feat, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, man. It took a few prototypes to get it where it's at. I think it took about 6 or 7 and over a year of like just research and development. So I'm glad that you enjoy it, man, and I'm glad everybody who's playing with one really likes their Edge. Hopefully they enjoy their Edge.
Cool. And so recently you launched the Wedge, which I think is a fantastic name, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was Ben McPhee's doing, so Ben McPhee's responsible. Also, if anybody can guess why we named it Wedge, put it in the comments below, and maybe we'll see if anybody gets it right, and then nice. Maybe we'll give out a yo-yo to the first person who guesses it right.
Whoa, nice. All right, you heard it, people. Call to action.
Yeah.
So was that was that something you'd planned for a long time? Like, after the success of the Edge, were you like, yeah, I want to make it in another format, or another material, or was it just sort of off the cuff?
Yeah, we've been planning this for a while now. I mean, I think I remember back to Worlds 2016, I started talking to Benton about this, and I was like, man, we need to prototype something more affordable for people that want to get into yo-yoing, because I feel like my style of yo-yoing is very showy and very exciting to the audience, and not just to yo-yo players, but also to people who don't know anything about yo-yoing. So with that kind of value that I bring, I wanted to have a way for them to enter into the market, knowing about my name and being inspired by my name, so I could put that on a yo-yo, and something that's more affordable. Because, Edge is so expensive. It's an amazing yo-yo. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's worth it if you're into yo-yoing that much. But for some kid that just saw a yo-yo video, my nationals routine or something, they can't. That kind of person doesn't want to invest $120 immediately into a yo-yo. So what I did was I developed Wedge. We started off just like, doing tons of prototypes, like trying to figure out exactly what works, especially for a beginner, but also something that could be competitively useful. And after about a year and I think like 6 prototypes, we did all sorts of things. We did like Delrin and steel. We did an aluminum version. We did multiple configurations of how we can incorporate different materials. And eventually, it came down to that the Delrin was the cheapest option for this high performance, like machine type of yo-yo. And when we finally got it down to where it is now, when I threw it the first time, I knew immediately, okay, this yo-yo is good. I was doing all my horizontals, I was doing all the whip tricks, everything that was in my nationals routine, I was able to do with this yo-yo. And I realized, okay, if I can compete with this yo-yo, and it's $35 where anybody can afford it, this is going to be something that'll really benefit, I think, the community, and also a good avenue for people who are fans of Evan Nagao to purchase some merchandise that they can actually afford, rather than like some $120 yo-yo.
Nice. So it really came from like an effort just to be inclusive to more people.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's important. A lot of times you see, I think yo-yos are getting more expensive, and there's like the boutique kind of aspect to some of the more expensive ones, but it's nice to have something that really performs that also is accessible.
Exactly. That was exactly our goal. And then on top of that, we wanted to make sure that it's competition oriented as well, so we're not trying to trade, we're trying to maintain as much of the professional competition level, but also be inclusive and allow as many people as possible, especially new people, to get into it, if they so choose. And at $35, that's a pretty good deal for somebody who's just getting into the hobby.
Fantastic. All right. And you mentioned competition, trying to be focused on that, and of course you recently blew up the nationals contest, so of course congratulations on that. But
thank you.
Yeah, how's it been competing for you? Is that an aspect of the hobby that you enjoy?
Man, it's been awesome. Competition is really interesting. In reality, I think what I enjoy most about competing is going up on stage and just trying to let the crowd, give them something to enjoy. But on top of that, I can't deny that I just love the competitive aspect, and I love to try to win, and I think that's common in a lot of people. But I think it's a really good avenue for me to kind of release that desire to take on a challenge. I love to do things like go to race cars and just video games and stuff, competitive things. But I think yo-yoing's a place where I really have developed my skills to a point where I can compete at the highest level, and that feels really, really cool. So yeah, competition is really cool. I don't think it's everything, especially I think if a lot of people focus too much on competition right now, where it's competition is everything, and they're not just focused on developing their tricks and creating cool stuff. I feel like creating cool stuff is more important than competition. It's just a small part, of the yo-yo community. So, to somebody that's just kind of starting in yo-yoing, or kind of an amateur at yo-yoing, I would suggest, don't focus too much on competition. Start off just developing your skills and creating some cool, unique innovative tricks and art. That's what I would say in the beginning. But eventually, you know, when you do get into competitions, it's really, really fun, and it can really test you at that like really high level. Like when I went to Worlds, it felt like I was like at the Olympics. Everybody was so good and just like honing it, like hitting their tricks like 100%. So it's a really cool feeling to compete. But I don't think competition is everything.
Very well said. And then, you know, going on to the competition thing, I think, as you said, your style is quite explosive, and you know, it's good at demonstrating to as many people as possible, like the biggest tricks possible, I think. And I think you're really known for your bangers, obviously. Is that stressful, coming up with bangers? And then is it like to think of new ways to impress the crowd? And then do you find it stressful to try to perform those on stage, or is it just like, yeah, let's just go all out? It's fun. Like, how do you approach that?
So to answer the second question first, when I get on stage, there's a lot of, I guess, anxiety, and anybody can understand this if they've ever gotten on stage. But what I've found is that it's a lot of people put certain meanings to that anxiety. For me, I realize that this anxiety is my body getting ready to do something really intense that it couldn't do without that anxiety. You know, like for example, I use the reference, like back in the caveman days, people would get really anxious about, you know, hunting and fighting, like, you know, the pig or catching that pig, right? But that exact like adrenaline that's going through your blood is also helping you to be more precise when you're throwing the spear, when you're fighting that boar or whatever you're trying to hunt. So I use that kind of adrenaline to get me into the state of flow. And when I'm on stage, my mind just checks out. Everything is just, my hands are doing all the work. From the time I enter on the stage, I throw the first throw, to the time I go off the stage, I don't remember any of it because my body's just doing the work. And I realize that this kind of nervousness is really powerful. So I think people, if they want to do competitions, they can realize that, yeah, this kind of adrenaline is actually really beneficial to them. That nervousness that you feel is actually your body trying to get really aware of your surroundings, so you can focus on what you're doing really, really well, and just kind of go into that state of flow and get the things done that need to be done. Regarding the first question you asked about if it's stressful to think of bangers and that kind of stuff, I'm not sure. It doesn't feel stressful. It just feels like it's exciting, you know? I guess like physiologically it's kind of the same response as stress, like anxiety. But what the kind of meaning I put to it is that it's really exciting. Like, it's an opportunity to express myself and who I am, and not just through, you know, talking, or not just through standard means of expressing myself. I can express myself through the yo-yo, and hopefully other people that can feel my passion for it can understand like the energy that I'm trying to give to them, or hopefully they can accept that kind of like excited energy that I'm trying to give to them, like that I had when I created that trick. So I would say, to answer the first question shortly, no, I don't feel stressed when I'm creating bangers. I feel really like lucky to have a certain creative mind to be able to do bangers like that and have the skills to execute them.
Approaching it with positivity. It's awesome. So that's it for my questions. If you're okay, we can move on to Instagram questions. I've got a lot of good stuff people want to know about you.
Let's do it.
All right.
For sure.
Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and start at the top here. I hope we don't jump around too much. But Sitting Milk at 21 asks, who is your biggest inspiration in yo-yoing?
Wow, interesting question. Who is my biggest inspiration? I guess there's so many people that inspired me in yo-yoing that it's hard to choose one, you know? There's so many. One person that I really like, though, is Takahiro Iizuka. When he first started doing yo-yo tricks, I think like the first time I saw him was 2009. I was just so amazed by his uniqueness, and just his style and his I don't know, just everything about him. Just there's something about his yo-yo tricks that is kind of subjectively cool, that it's hard to explain exactly why it's cool. But yeah, so I'd say Takahiro Iizuka was probably my biggest inspiration. And then also coming up, Jensen Kimmett was very cool. Like, everybody saw Jensen as this like superhero in the yo-yo era, because he, that year in 2009, I think 2010, 2010, he didn't lose a single contest. Every single contest, and I think it was like 8 contests or something he competed in, he won, which was like crazy and unheard of. So competitively, I think Jensen really inspired me. And then of course there's Yuki Spencer, Zach Gormley, Chuck, Michael Curdy, Jason Liu. Dude, the list is literally endless. Like, if I had to say everybody that inspired me like a lot in yo-yoing, it's like the list is too long. I could never stop.
Nice. Those are some pretty good names that you called out, though.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Next question here is from Ember Flays. I like this one. Do you like poi?
Do I like poi? I love poi every
Nice.
day. Yeah. The answer is yes.
Nice. And he also asks, will you ever have a meet in Oahu?
Yes, we will. I have to make sure, because I travel like 99% of the time, so I'm never there. But yes, we will. Ember Flays, we will have a meet in Hawaii.
All right. Probably should keep an eye on your Instagram, right? At Evan the Odds to know about that kind of stuff. All right.
Yep.
Cool. Next one here is from, I think this is J. Ooh, it's hard to read. JL Bros 27, who says, if you could be sponsored by anyone who wasn't YoYoFactory, who would it be?
If I could be sponsored by anybody who wasn't YoYoFactory, let me think. Man, I like not to diss any companies. I think they're all good, but like in terms of like just like, for example, royalties, and in terms of recognition and getting products and they take care of all sorts of stuff, hotels, flights. I guess CLYW would be like second to that. But man, YoYoFactory really takes good care of me. I can't complain at all. And the other thing is that they're not just focused on taking care of their players, but also the community. Ben and Apolly also, so from CLYW, also ran Worlds this year and put so much not just time and effort, but also like physical resources like money and yo-yos to fund the contest. I mean, these guys take care of everything. So in terms of what company would I join, maybe CLYW, but man, it's hard to beat YoYoFactory right now. They're such a good sponsor. I really, really appreciate them for everything they do.
That's awesome that you found your fit and there's no need to look anywhere else. That's perfect. Mm-hmm. All right. Next one here is from Trace Does Stuff, who asks, what's your favorite yo-yo besides your signature?
My favorite yo-yo besides my signature, so let me think. I guess I'd have to go with Monster right now, because I just
Nice.
picked up my Monster the other day, and that thing was super fun. Besides that, the Magnum by Aldi is a really cool yo-yo. That thing plays like butter. I love that yo-yo.
Wow, I've never heard of that thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can check it out. It's one of Marcus Coe's signature yo-yos from the past.
Okay. That should be interesting. I'll check that out. Nice. The Magnum, you said?
Magnum by Aldi. It's a pretty hard yo-yo to find.
Okay. Nice. Let's see. So next one here is from Remy Baskin, of Duncan, obviously, who says, what are your top 3 freestyles of the year?
Top 3 freestyles of the year. Holy smokes. Oh, God, I can't... I'm on the spot right now. Ethan Chung was number 1. Worlds 2017. So I'm probably forgetting a bunch, but definitely, so Ethan Chung is at the top there. Oh, Quentin Godet, Foray, EYYC was just mind-blowing, completely mind-blowing. And I think the last one would also be Foray, Hajime Miura, AP. that was probably my top 3. But man, I'm missing so many. I know it. Yeah. But anyway, so that's what I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. I don't remember how you said it. I've heard it so many different ways, but Kenton Godet, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he might have been one of the very first 4A players I ever saw, and I was just like, oh wow, 4A is amazing. And then I realized later, like, oh, he is just a god, basically.
Yeah. He's so good. Actually, I told him, like, dude, if he did his freestyle from EYYC, I think he had a chance at winning Worlds, to be honest. I mean, Ray ended up hitting a perfectly clean freestyle, so I don't know. But, man, his freestyle from EYYC was mind-blowing. Like, it was so good.
I've been told by his team members at YoYo that basically you give him anything, basically, and he'll turn it into a skill toy, so he's got that going for him as well.
Yeah, he's kind of like that. Yeah, just multi-gifted in a lot of different things.
Nice. All right. Next one here is from, I don't know how to pronounce this, Leo Zatzi, maybe? Who asks, how do you create tricks?
So I actually was thinking about this the other day. If somebody asked me how I create tricks, how would I reply? And what I came up with is essentially, usually when I create a trick, I think of an idea. What do I want to accomplish? What kind of crazy type of thing do I want to accomplish? And usually it involves one trick that's sort of a banger or a really cool element, and then adding something to that. So for example, I wanted to do 2 yo-yos tornado binding, right? So I initially tried to do it on one in each hand, like normal 3A, but I figured out I couldn't do that. But I just kept that like intention really clear. I think this is a very good like life skill too to have, is like keeping your intention really clear of what you want to happen. So for me, it was like that trick. I wanted to do a double tornado bind somehow. And then instead of like, trying to like figure out like, instead of like kind of figuring out how I could compromise to maybe sort of do that, I just figured out, no, I want to do this, and it's only about how can I do it. So, but the how isn't really that important. It's just what do I want to accomplish? And then from there, it's just creating solutions to make sure that I can actually execute it. So for example, with that tornado bind, I realized that if I put both yo-yos on one hand, I could do the tornado bind on the other hand and kind of like hold it like that, so that there's like 2 yo-yos tornado binding at one time. But I guess the point is, have an intention for what you want to do with your trick, and instead of compromising, try to like figure out a solution to make sure that you can actually accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. And then sometimes, you just do figure out something along the way that's even cooler than you initially were trying to do. So there's that too.
Find where you want to reach, and then just to focus on the bridge to get there, basically.
Exactly, yeah. So I would say don't try to create the bridge until you have an end goal in mind, more or less.
Our next question here is from Jason. Oh boy. Jason Supala Yoyo, I think, who asks, do you have any tips of how to be a yo-yo professional or yo-yo champion?
How do I become a yo-yo champion? I think the real key initially is to just enjoy it. Passion will breed practice is what I would say. If you're not passionate about it anymore, like if you're just working yourself trying to become a professional, maybe that's your passion. Maybe you're really passionate about becoming a yo-yo professional. But oftentimes I noticed that when I was really trying to practice too hard that in the past, I would just burn myself out, and it wouldn't be enjoyable. So what I would say is just make sure you're enjoying it all the time, and that will fuel you to keep practicing and build your skills. The other thing I can say is learn as many tricks as possible from the people who are winning contests. Try to learn Zach's tricks, try to learn Gentry's tricks, try to learn Mike tricks, try to learn all these, even like the people who have the best speed combos, like Hiroyuki Suzuki or Yamato Murata, Shion. Learn everybody's tricks. And then from there, you can start to manipulate those tricks to be your own and use them in contests. And right now, contests are really meta, which I don't really like. But what that essentially means is a lot of the elements that are winning contests are overused, like used a lot. So you have to learn a lot of these elements to be competitive right now. But if you're talking about professional, you can be professional outside of contests too. You know, there are people like JT Nickel, you know, Chuck, Jensen, that are very like, they're professional in that they get paid by yo-yoing, but they're not necessarily, you know, competitive anymore as much.
All right. Well, I think that's all I've got here. But yeah, is there anything you wanted to leave with people before we head on out of here for today?
Yeah, you know, just enjoy yourself, you know. With the yo-yo, don't take it too seriously. I think we're really focused on competitions. And that's good, you know. It's cool to have competitions. It's good to cheer for your favorite team in basketball. But the people that are cheering for their favorite NBA stars, you know, they're not like beating themselves up that they're not Michael Jordan or they're not Kobe Bryant. You know, they're going out and going to their 24-hour fitness gym and just enjoying the game, right? Just enjoying the game at their own level. So what I would say is just enjoy it, man. If you know, everybody, and especially in this field, everybody can create something uniquely artistic. You know, not everybody can compete at the highest level yet, but everybody can create something uniquely artistic, and that's what differentiates yo-yoing, in my opinion, from other sports, like basketball, for example. You know, it's hard to create artistic ways of playing basketball, but in yo-yoing, you can express your unique like ideas and your creativity with the world, and that's really all that matters. Really, at the end of the day, the competition's cool, but I mean, it's all culminating to make sure that you enjoy yourself and you really get the most out of this hobby. So if you're beating yourself up about not being good enough, don't do that. You know, don't beat yourself about not being good enough. Just enjoy the thing. That's what it's made for. It's a toy at the end of the day. So that's what I'll leave you guys with. And yeah, I just hope you guys keep it up and keep adding value to the yo-yo community. Keep spreading the word, and let's make this thing really big and grow it at a very consistent but fast kind of pace. Yeah, that's it. That's really it for me.
Nice. Beautiful. All right. Well, as we head out of here, I like to ask the guest if they will sign us off the show with the TokYo-Yo catchphrase, which is Sayonara.
Okay. Well, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed. Sayonara.